Brothers and sisters, welcome to Few Minutes of Catholic Doctrine. Today, our focus is on the sources of theology or of revelation or of the teaching authority in the Catholic Church. The very first source of theology in the Catholic Church is Scripture. It tells us that Scripture is not read in partiality. It is read in context. Scripture is read and interpreted in its context. You do not just read the scripture, one verse of the scripture, and you hold on to it. We read and interpret the scripture in its context. And in that way, it gives you a better understanding of what a particular passage is talking about. And that is why in the Catholic Church, scriptural interpretation is very important. The Catholic Bible makes it easy that when you read a particular passage in the Bible, it guides you, it gives you a background relating to this particular scripture, relating to this particular passage which you have read, and how more you need in order to understand this particular context. Another source in the Catholic Church is the tradition. And that's why sometimes people ask the question, tradition and scripture, which came first? Tradition came first before the scripture. Tradition are those things which Jesus Christ did that are not documented. The Bible, the scripture as we have it today, was not originally documented. We had in parts, in bits and pieces. It was oral tradition. Everything was handed down orally. Many of the things which Jesus Christ did are not written in the scripture. And that's why even in the Gospel of John, we hear it is telling us there are so many things which Jesus Christ did which are not written. And if they were to be written down, the books that will be written, the world cannot contain. This is an indication to tell us that tradition is very important. And that's why the Catholic Church holds so much to tradition, because there are so many teachings which we draw from tradition. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, the Catholic Church does not depend solely on scripture. Tradition equally is very, very important, because it gives us a lot of teachings that from the time of Jesus are not all documented in the Bible. And finally, we have the teaching authority of the church, which is the magisterium. The magisterium, the teaching authority, helps us to understand the scripture, to understand the tradition, with the interpretation which is given to us by the magisterium. And in this context, we have the Catechism of the Catholic Church, which is a work of the magisterium. So, my dear brothers and sisters, when we talk about the sources of revelation or of theology or of teaching authority in the Catholic Church, we talk of the Bible, the scripture. We talk of the tradition and the magisterium. These are the various sources of theology, of revelation in the Catholic Church. So, my dear brothers and sisters, make use of these sources and it will help you in your daily life as a Catholic. Be proud with what you have as a Catholic. Because as Catholics, we are and we celebrate what we are. God bless you.